Now let's look at the CSS selectors. Now the concept is, whenever you write CSS rules, now the question is, to what elements are you going to apply those rules? For example, there is a background color. Background color is red. Now, which elements are you going to apply this background color to? So that in order to know that, we have to know about selectors. How to select the elements in the HTML to which you have to apply the CSS styles, that is CSS selectors. Now the first kind of selector is H1. Okay, not H1, it is called element selector. So H1 is an element. For example, if I write like this, there is a CSS rule and I am saying that here I am saying H1, it means that to all the H1 elements we have to apply this style color blue, and you can have any number of rules here. Okay, so we will see what are all the rules later, but then any number of rules you can write, and if you write like this, to all H1s these particular rules will be applied. Let's see an example. Now let us say there are 3 elements here and all the 3 elements are of type H2. We have 3 H2 elements and now we have written that color has to be red. So this is the CSS code. Now this CSS code or CSS rule is going to be applied to all H2s. Now whenever you select an element in that file, wherever that element is present, to all those elements this style will be applied. So to all the H2s, color red will be applied, therefore font will become red. So that is why you can see that all of them are having font red. Okay. Now the next kind of selector is class selector. So what is a class? An element, for example, I'll show you here. So class is a global attribute. It is a global attribute and any element can have it. All the elements can have it. So whenever you write class equal to red text, then we can somehow say that this particular H2 belongs to the class red text. Now you can put many H2s or many elements, not just H2s. You can put any HTML element in this class, and to all those elements in the class we can apply a CSS rule or CSS rules based on this. So we are going to put dot here. When you write a dot followed by the class name, it means that all these rules are going to be applied to all the elements which are present in this class. That is why if you see it, for this class we are applying the color red. So you can see that red color is applied, okay, only for that class. Now what is the advantage of using a class is, if you have to apply some style to different elements, not the same elements. If you want to apply style to, let us say, one H2 element and then a P paragraph element. If you want to apply to 2 different kinds of HTML elements, then you can use the class, then both of them will belong to that class, and when you write dot that class name, then automatically this color is going to be applied, or this rule is going to be applied to both of them. So that is why you can see that the heading is red and then paragraph is red. Okay, H2 and paragraph both are red in this case. That is the advantage of class. So you can put many elements in one class and you can apply a style to all those elements in that class. So that is how class is going to be helpful. And the next one is ID selector. So what is an ID is, again, ID is an attribute. It is a global attribute. You can use ID with any element. Okay. Now, if you say ID equal to main, then it means that this element is having ID main. Now, in order to apply a style to this element, instead of selecting this particular element, H2 element, you can directly select ID. See, we have 3 different H2s. You cannot apply element selector here. If you apply element selector to all of them, the style will be applied. But I want to apply style to only one element with the ID main. In that case, you are going to use this particular ID selector, and the symbol that you have to use is pound or hash. So if you use a hash symbol followed without any space, okay, hash symbol followed by the ID name, then to that particular ID, you are going to apply this style. Now, what is the difference between class and an ID? A class can be many elements in the HTML file can have the same class, but there should be only one element with a particular ID, which means here you have this h2 containing, here you have this h2 containing ID. Now in that file you cannot have one more element containing ID. Only one element can contain ID. But if you look at class, many elements can have ID. Okay, many elements can have that class. Now coming to attribute selectors, you can also select an element with an attribute. Okay, for example, here if you see, P is a paragraph and it is having an attribute called draggable. Now you can say that all the P elements which have draggable attribute need this style. Okay, so for that you are going to write like this, that element followed by a square brackets, and within brackets you can write the attribute name. Now this is the attribute, this draggable is the attribute. What does this mean? To all the P elements which have the attribute draggable, we are going to apply this color. Now if you write like this, it means that irrespective of the value of draggable, if the attribute is present, we are going to apply this style. Okay, that is the meaning of it. So in this case, if you write like this, P draggable, it means that to the paragraph elements which has draggable, we are going to apply this red color. And here we have only one element like that, one paragraph, even though we have multiple paragraphs, but we are going to apply this style only to the paragraph element which has draggable attribute. Okay. Now you can go one step ahead and you can also say that to all the draggable elements which are false. For example, here it is true and here it is false. So if I write like this, draggable equal to false, it means that to all the P elements whose draggable is equal to false, I want to apply these styles, right? So in this case, to this one and this one, style will be applied. Okay. So what is this style? Color is red. Therefore, don't drag me is going to be in the red color. Okay. Now there is universal selector. So sometimes you want to apply some style like alignment, centered alignment to all the elements. So in that case, if you want to apply a style to all the elements, you can use star. Then this particular style will be applied to all the elements in the HTML file. Okay, so we use it rarely. If you want to do something to all the elements, like change the color of the elements, then all the elements will be in that color. Okay. So we will see a program where, so in this case, we are going to apply color as red to all these elements, H1, H2, paragraph, then the color is applied to all of them. Okay. Even though they are different elements, we are able to apply the color. And this one is having class title, this one is having ID heading. So anyway, color is going to be applied to all of them irrespective of what the attributes are or what type of elements they are. Okay. Now in the next video, we will see a program and we will try to do whatever we have learned here. We will try to do a hands-on. Okay. Thank you. Hi, now that you have understood what are CSS selectors, in this video, let's try to use that knowledge and then apply styles to different elements in the HTML. So I have created a basic HTML here, HTML. Now in this HTML file, we have first one is H1 element, and then a H2 element, and then a paragraph element, and then we have ordered list, and inside the ordered list we have 1, 2, 3, 4 list items. Okay, so this is the HTML we have. Now we want to apply styling to this in the style.css separate file. So we have already linked that here. So a style sheet is already linked. Now in that style sheet, we want to apply these rules in such a way that certain elements are selected and those rules are applied. Okay, we will go one by one. And one more thing I want to tell you is here, here paragraph is in the class note, and in the list items also they are all in the class note. In the list item also they are all in the class note. And then list items also have value attribute. Now why is this value attribute used is, whenever you have ordered list, the list numbering is going to be from 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay, and then if you want to change that, if you want to start it from 2, if you want to give a separate number to it, then you can use value attribute. Okay, that is the value attribute. And then the second list item has an ID of ID selector demo. And now if you observe it, I told you that only one element can be given a particular ID. What I mean to say is, if this ID selector demo is already used for this particular element, you cannot use the same ID selector demo in the other elements, but you can use a different ID if you want. Already this ID selector demo is used up here. Don't use this ID selector demo anywhere. Okay, but then you can give ID with different value anywhere, but then it has to be only once. Okay, so in the entire file there should be only one ID, that is what I am saying, but then different elements can have different IDs, that is allowed. Okay, now what I want to do is, I have given some to-do lists, so I have given some steps here. We are going to follow these steps and we are going to do each step one by one. Now if you look at the first to-do list, so set the CSS for all the paragraph tags to color red. So this is the rule, CSS rule, that we are going to apply to all the paragraphs, P elements. Now what is that you are going to do? So you are going to do element selector. So P is the element. Now if you write like this to all the paragraphs, it will be red, but there is only one paragraph there. Okay, even though I told you to all paragraph tags, there is only one paragraph in it. Now let's see the preview. Now that paragraph element is now in red. Okay, now let's go to the next step. So the next one is second step, set the CSS for all the elements with a class of note and font size as this, which means we want to apply this rule, font size as 20 pixel. So we didn't discuss about font size, we will see that later. So this is a rule, font size 20 is a rule. Now we want to apply it to all the elements with class note. Okay, so we have elements with class note here, paragraph and all the list items. So to all of them, the font size is going to be made 20 pixel. So now it is a class selector. Okay, how are you going to write the class selector? Dot followed by the class name, and remember that there is no space. Dot followed by note, there is no space. Okay, and now that is going to be, font size is going to be 20 pixel. Now let's look at the third one. Set the CSS for the element with an ID of ID selector demo to color green, which means this is the rule we want to apply to any element which has an ID of ID selector demo. Okay, now this is a ID selector. Okay, we are going to do ID selection by using pound symbol or hash symbol, and remember that you should not give a space there. So hash followed by the entire ID name and then apply the rule. That is third one. Now you can see that it has become green because here you can see that ID selector is with this particular this particular list item with ID equal to 3. Okay, with the number equal to 3. So the third item, the number 3 has become green here. Okay. Next, set the CSS for the li elements that have value attribute set to 4. So wherever the value attribute is set to 4, we want to change its color to blue, which means list item should be there and attribute should be there and its value should be 4. Then we have to set its color to blue. So this is attribute selector, right? So how are you going to write it? First you write li for list item, and then you are going to write the attribute, and also value is specified. So value equal to 4. Now you are going to select it and apply the color blue. Now let's see that. So here the color is blue because this is the one with value equal to 4 and that color has become blue. Now the last one, set all the elements to have text alignment center. So all the elements is given, which means you have to use star, universal selector. Okay. So all the elements text alignment is center. Okay. So now you can see that it will be aligned in center. Okay. So this is how we are going to use element selectors. Now you have seen important HTML tags, and you have seen attributes, and you have seen CSS rules, some of the rules, and then you have seen selectors also, right? Let's try to put all of them together gradually. Thank you. Hi. So actually coloring a website or selecting the colors for various parts of the website is more of UI UX designers work. So you are aspiring to become a full stack developer, and for a full stack developer, color part is not that important. So I will just quickly go through how to get the colors, how to apply the colors and all in one lecture. We are not going to spend more time in it. We will spend more time on JavaScript, Node, Express, React, all this. Okay, so we are not going to spend a lot of time on this styling part. But if you are interested, I will tell you how to go through it. So now there is a website. Okay, if you go to this Mozilla Developer Network and if you click on colors, you are going to get a lot of named colors. Already colors have name, okay, like this purple, gray, lime and all, and then lot of colors are given. So most of the colors you can use the names and you can use them in your website. But then sometimes what happens is you might want a color which is not already present in this website and which is not having a name. You may want a new color. So for that reason, you can go to color hunt.co. If you go to colorhunt.co, they have given nicely what are the colors that you can apply for a website so that it will look good. So for example, four colors are given. Okay, so if you use that combination of 4 colors, your website will look good. Then there are a lot of designs available here from which you can choose. Now if you choose, let us say this color, if you go and hover on it, you are going to just hover on it, just place the mouse there. Now you are going to get a hexadecimal code, hexa code. So now if you get this hexa code, then what you can do is you can copy this whatever code is there and you can put it in your HTML or CSS pages. In the CSS code, you can put these numbers and you will get that color. So see which one you like and you can go for it. You can actually take that color. Even if you still want some colors which are not in this website also, there are a lot of colors here. If you still want more, then you can go to the website called CS Field Guide, csfieldguide.org, .newsland, and there they have given a you can find it, so RGB mixer. So now you can mix and produce your own colors. For example, if you move this, the color there will change. Actually green is too much. Yeah, now if you are moving this, the color there is changing. Now you can adjust the red, blue and green values, and you can get any combination. And then you can see here hexadecimal is given. If you click on hexadecimal, then you can copy that hexadecimal code. Whatever code is given there, you can copy that and you can paste it in your CSS file, and you are going to get colors. Now let us see how to apply colors. Just a small exercise, and after this we will not talk about colors, okay? Because that is out of scope of this particular course, actual look and feel of the website. We are more worried about the functionality. Okay, so now we have Hello World, a small simple website. Now what we want to do is make the background of the website antique white. Now we are going to make the background of the website as antique white. So open the style sheet. Okay, internal styling, we are doing internal styling. So inside this style we are writing it background color equal to antique white. Now you can see that background of the website has become antique white. Now how do I know about antique white? Mozilla Web Developers Network. There you can see the colors which are named. I am using named colors here, not using the hexadecimal codes. Okay. If you don't like these colors, then you can go for your own custom colors. And now the second point is make H1 as white smoke. So for H1, color is white smoke, which means we are applying it to the font. When you say color, it is applied to the text. Okay. And when you say background color, it is applied to the background of it. And then we have to make the background of H1 as dark green, dark sea green. So now it has become dark sea green. I know these colors doesn't look good. I just to give you example, I'm doing it. Okay. And then for H2, we are going to apply a hexadecimal color. Just to show you an example. Color of the text is a hexadecimal code. And the background color is this hexadecimal code. Now you can see that it is changing. Okay. So this is how you can apply colors. But anyway, this is the end of colors. We are not going into details. Okay. Thank you.